everyone. Thank you guys for coming. We'll start with some questions in English and then we'll come to Spanish afterwards. If we can keep it to 1 or 2 per person, that would be brilliant. Damesh, do you want to kick us off?
David, good to see you. Can you just give us an insight into the mood of the dressing room? Are there nerves, or is it belief, confidence?
The mood is great. Definitely it's not nerves, it's confidence, it's be able to replicate what we did in the first game and come here for the win.
You followed Real Madrid when you were younger. What would it mean to you to be part of a team that could knock them out of this competition?
Well, I wouldn't say I followed Real Madrid. I just followed Casillas, as I said always, that he was my idol. But we know how big of a club it is, and it'll be great to knock them out.
Alex?
Hi, David. Lots is made about Real Madrid and their ability to turn games around and the atmosphere they can create in a stadium. What can you do as a player when momentum is building? How can you stop it on the pitch?
Well, we have the momentum, I think. The way we played, the way we faced in the first leg is incredible from everyone, and we're here just to create our own history, to win the game, to come in and win the game, and that's the most important thing.
Tom, did you have a question?
Hi David, obviously, you've been at the club now for a couple of seasons. When you joined, did you imagine that you would be in this scenario perhaps as quickly as it's come to play against a team like Real Madrid in this stage of the competition?
Well, when I started playing for Arsenal, we were in the Champions League, so I was convinced that we were going to play against the best teams in Europe in this competition. But you want to play against the best if you want to win trophies. So we were convinced that we were going to do well last season and hopefully even better this season.
Soraya?
Hi, David. It's commonly known that the goalkeeper position, it can be the loneliest on the pitch. We talk a lot about in the big matches, training well, preparing your body well, but how do you actually train your mind ahead of big fixtures like this?
Well, you try to be focused on what you can control. You can control your actions, you can control what you do, and you cannot control the outside and the noise and all that. So you have to be very, very focused on what you can do, and of course believe in yourself. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, next one here.
David, keeping the crowd quiet here, it's been mentioned before, it's been mentioned earlier with the Real Madrid press conference. It's going to be difficult, we all know that, even though you have the momentum. How have you spoken about that, and how do you propose to try to keep them quiet in the stadium?
Well, like I said, that's something that we cannot control. That is out of our control. The fans, the stadium, the atmosphere, maybe the shows that they have in the stadium and all that. So that is out of control. We cannot think about that. We just have to think about ourselves, what we can control on the pitch with the ball. Play the same way that we played in the first game, and create chances and score goals. We come here just to win the game.
Isan?
Hi. In the first half, especially early on, you made a couple of saves against, I think, Mbappe and Vinny Jr. as well through the game. What was it like for you as a keeper going up against them kind of players, and how alert do you guys need to be to make sure that with their pace they don't get any such opportunities in this leg?
Luckily, I think we faced a lot of good players in the Premier League, and everybody's ready for the challenge. We know how good the attacking Madrid is, but everybody is on the toes no matter who we play. So we have to see it the same way as another game. Is another game as it could be playing against another opponent. So we just have to be focused on ourselves and just be ready for anything that can happen.
John?
Hello, David. The team played so well, particularly in the second half after you'd gone ahead. You know, you really went on the front foot. Is that your intention tomorrow night? Do you have to go for it as much as anything?
The intention is to win the game. That's no matter what. We know how we played in the first game, and we have to do the same. We have to do the same approach it the same way. We know we have a lead, but we come here just to win the game.
Miguel, just that.
Hi, David. Madrid are relentlessly talking about remontadas and the history and experience, and it almost feels like an attempt as much to put pressure on Arsenal. Has the manager done anything this week to shut all that out or change focus?
We are here just to write our own history. I think winning the game and getting through to the semi-finals, that's what we want to do, and that's what we're going to try and achieve tomorrow. But like I said, we're here just to recreate our own history.
And James will do last two in English, so one from James and then Tom.
Hi, David. There was a lot of focus on Kiwior before the first game. Obviously, to come in at short notice, played very well, handled it very well. How impressed were you by him coming in that back line, and how confident are you can do it again tomorrow?
I wasn't impressed because I know how good Jacob is, and I'm very, very convinced and confident with him stepping in after the big injury that Gavi sustained against Fulham. So I wasn't surprised about his performance. I thought he was very, very, very good, and we know how good he is. He shows in training every day. So I was very, very happy with his performance, because that gives him confidence. But like I said, I wasn't surprised. It was a matter of time they can show his quality.
And last one in English with Tom, yeah.
Hi, David, here. A lot of talk about beating Real Madrid and comebacks, but I guess you must think there's a real opportunity here to get to the semi-final and also potentially win this competition now.
Yeah, of course. I think that's why we play in the Champions League. I think you want to win the trophy. If not, you don't play. But we have to be focused on tomorrow to win the game tomorrow, and we will see what happens. And then from there, we just go day by day.
One down here.
Hola, David. ¿Qué tal? Buenas tardes.
Hi, David. My name is Anton Meana from Cadena Set. You've said in English that the intention that Arsenal has is to win the game. Everything about comebacks, etc. Maybe it's a journalist story rather than, or instead than a real risk for tomorrow. Well, everything can happen in football, but I think that we have to try to win the game. We don't have to defend. We'll try to do our best since the very beginning. We'll try to win the game. So if you take into account what has happened the last times, you're a great goalkeeper. Donnarumma, Ederson, Neuer have gone through this in the story in 5 or 10 minutes. The game changed. Are you taking this into account or not? No, I'm staying focused. I'm staying focused on what I have to do tomorrow and how I can help the team, both defending and attacking. And when the game arrives, we'll see. Hi, David. Lola Hernandez for Sky Sports Mexico. Have you prepared the penalty kicks, or you're not considering that? That will be on the pitch. I won't answer that question.
¿Qué tal, David?
Hi, David. Juan Bobadilla for Notia Sports. You're Spanish, and I don't know if you've had the chance to read the press from these days. And well, everybody's speaking about a comeback before the game happens. What do you think about this? What do you think about how the media are speaking about the game before it happens? Well, I usually don't read the press, truth to be said, but in the end, they are trying to make the best for themselves, for the game, for the club, and for the game they want to play. And that's totally valid. They need to trust themselves, and this is what we do with ourselves. We trust in ourselves. We'll try to play our game since right now, and that's it, period.
Hola, David.
Hello, David. Andres Rubio for Spanish television. Carlo Ancelotti said before that Real Madrid tomorrow has to work with head, with mind, with heart and balls, as Carlos Alcaraz says. So what does Arsenal have to do? What does Arsenal have to do tomorrow in the stadium? We have to be sure that we can win the game. This is what we have to do, and this is what I'm thinking we're going to do. Last question here. Juanjo Rueda from Caliente TV Mexico. So in the middle of this conversation about comebacks, etc., I would like to ask you, so the changing room through your head coach, have you watched that game when Arsenal was able to win 0-1 with Thierry Henry? Have you talked about this to see that the team has done this before? Well, we know about that story. I don't think that it has been a changing room topic, but anyway, we know that Arsenal won here. But we are really much focused on what we have to do tomorrow. And the past is past. Let's leave the bygones be bygones and let's face the present. So that's it. Thank you.